All right. Hello. What's up, people? Y'all are pissing me off. All right. Y'all are, that's the most blunt way I can open what this segment plans on being. Um there's a lot of things that uh there are a lot of things that get said in this community. And that's natural. It's natural that people talk and converse and weigh in and give their opinions on things. But I almost feel like as time goes on, people are becoming somehow less informed. They don't really wrap their heads around what is actually going on, right? And that's important because, unlike other genres, fighting games are pretty unique. Whether we like to admit it or not, there are just things that have to be approached in this community that can't be approached in the same way that they can in others. And so, like, these topics will come up, but obviously, like, existing in this genre is like more tremulous, I think, than just others. There's just more stuff that goes into it, mostly because, like, there's more interacting with real people when you talk about fighting games. Like, our whole community is built on people actually going to events and meeting up with each other. Other games have that, but not nearly to the same extent. Most of their fan bases and their player bases exist solely online. Sometimes they talk in forums and stuff like that. Like, sometimes they talk in Reddits and Discords and shit, but they're not going to events and meeting up with each other. Like, yes, there's LANs, but like not nearly how we do it, right? Our whole infrastructure is built on let's go and meet some people, right? And go talk to other people about games, and let's enjoy games with each other, right? All this to say that I think it explains why a lot of discourse in fighting games kind of doesn't work, at least currently. It is a crusade that I found myself on, like changing the face of discourse in this community bit by bit. And while I think I'm making progress, it's a hard fight, right? This takes a fundamental restructuring of how people think about things and how they converse about things to like really make an impact, right? And so there's going to be some things. I have a lot of tabs. I have a lot of tabs of like stuff I'm just gonna talk about. Really, there's not really structure to this. Just things that I saw that I wanted to weigh in on, give you guys my thoughts on. If there's stuff that you want my thoughts on, you can add it to the pile as well. Obviously, this segment can't be too long, but I plan on doing this like pretty regularly because like some of the people that I think are like saying things like don't understand, right? So first of all, I'm not even going to start with this, because I'm going to start with this because this is pretty toxic. And I've gotten on Raz's case about this so many times, like more times than I can count. Right? I've gotten on Raz's case about how he thinks about things, how he talks about things, and like again, I find myself here. It's like, listen, man, I don't, this is the easiest way I can put it, right? This is the easiest way I can put it. So he replies to someone talking about the 2XKO stuff, right? And he has been literally making it a point, like, this, don't be like this, right? Don't be like this. And I'm going to use him as an example because he's someone that I know that engages in this bad behavior. He literally goes around to 2XKO posts and is just replying to everyone that's talking about it, right? Don't be like this. This is a very unhealthy way to live, all right? I'm just a very unhealthy way to live, right? Especially if you don't like things, right? Raz is someone that doesn't really like things. And so like I think it's super unhealthy on top of that. But that aside, he decided to weigh in on this particular topic. And he said, "Do you think this version is fun? Why isn't anyone playing it then? Holy shit." Well, first of all, obviously, you don't like 2XKO, but there are plenty of people that do, right? And I think to imply otherwise is so disingenuous. First of all, you do nothing but bitch about the game that you yourself travel to play, first of all. So, like, You can't even use like other people complaining about the game as like a litmus test of, see, everyone is just complaining about the game. That means no one likes the game, right? I can use you as a counterexample. You travel and play Rising, though you bitch about damn near everything in the game. So that's the first thing. Second thing is 2XKO has more entrants than your game at every major. Just straight up. There's like no caveat here, right? Like there's no hidden meaning. There's no like, there's no footnote. There's no asterisk, right? You can't do this, right? You can't go around telling people like, why isn't anyone playing it? It's like, there are more people playing it than your game. So like, why, if you feel like you're valid in playing Rising, then why wouldn't they be valid in playing in 2XKO if I could compare numbers 1-to-1? Now, I don't like getting into like number-based shit slinging. I think it's fucking stupid in general. But I think that this is like just really fucking dumb argument, right? It's really dumb. Very clearly, people were playing it, right? And they continue to play it. And they're going to continue to play it. You only feel this way because you don't like the game. And you don't know how to remove your own personal biases from like having conversations like this. And I think that's your biggest problem, right? And also, I think you just don't like things in general. But that aside, right? Don't do this. Don't be a reply guy on Twitter, please. Whoever needs to hear it, don't fall into this pitfall. All right? Isn't that a bit hypocritical? Who, on my part or his part? I want to make sure I answer that before I move on. I will answer as honestly as I can for anything, as I always have, right? But I think this is dog shit. I think this is dog shit. He doesn't pick and choose his fights. No, I think he's like one of the there's an archetype of people on Twitter that just like to be upset, right? We were talking about shitting in the game. Yeah. No, but that's what I'm saying. Like you can't like have such discontent with your own thing that you choose to go and like, if I asked him like, does he still like Rising? He would say yes. He'd be like, I still like Rising. I'm just very critical, right? And I have critiques in this and that. And that's why I found that this counterexample is appropriate, because if you ask people, right, if people talk about 2XKO as like, okay, it was only complaints. Everyone only complained about the game, right? That's clearly not true, right? Like we could just dispel that myth just outright. Like that's clearly not true. So if we're going to have like meaningful conversations about things like this, we need to first get rid of the things that we know for a fact are not true, right? We know for a fact that the idea of like 2XKO was a game that appealed to no one and nobody played it and everyone hated it. That's clearly not true, right? We know that that's not true. And so I think it's disingenuous to like try to bring that as a point, especially when you're spending your time on Twitter going and replying to people about like, bro, like you're not trying to actually have thoughtful discourse, right? You're just trying to get a dunk. That's it. And there's a very, very important distinguishment between the two, right? If I felt like you were actually going into people's replies and like trying to get their thoughts and bouncing ideas off of them and like, gaining new perspective, that would be one thing. I think that's like that's the overall goal of discourse, at least in my eyes, right? But this is just being inflammatory, right? That's all this is. And I don't think it's productive. So, yeah, that's what I have to say about that. Okay, moving on. This tweet is also dog shit. This tweet is also dog shit. And the reason that this is dog shit is because it is not... I think it is very, very disingenuous, right, to pose a question, right? Like, so if I ask you guys a question, if I say like, hey, what do you guys think about this, right? If I ever make a tweet like that, like if I ever make a tweet saying, hey guys, I wonder what you think about this, right? My goal in asking you something is to actually get your thoughts, right? Maybe I need new perspective on something, so I need opinions. How do you guys feel about this, right? And we do this all the time, right? This is not what this is, right? This may appear that way. It may appear that way to some people, but what this really is just fishing for validation, right? He would have been better off. He would have been better off saying that I don't think that this is the golden age of fighting games, right? Yeah, it's bait. It is literally bait, right? And the reason that I know this is because like if you go into his replies, anyone that says yes, he disagrees with him, and he disagrees with him, and he's like, oh, that's laughable and this and that. It's like, there's some cases where he's like, you know what, that's interesting and this and that, and that's cool. But like, I hate things like this because there's something really important that gets missed when we talk about a golden age of fighting games, right? First of all, what the fuck is a golden age? What's what the fuck is a golden age, right? So we have to come to an agreement of what a golden age is before we even begin to have a discussion on whether this qualifies as a golden age or not, right? A golden age of fighting games, the thing that comes to mind for me, at least at first, like when I hear golden age of fighting games, right, I'm thinking like fighting games are prospering. We have plenty of events. We have plenty of games to choose from. Entrant counts are up, right? There's opportunities all around with circuits, with, content creation, all that. That to me is what a golden age is. Like we're all prospering, right? And I think by that definition, if we're going by that definition, then yes, this is a golden age of fighting games. I think right now fighting games are doing fantastically, right? On all metrics, event counts are up. People have more choices than ever to play the games that they want to play. You can even go back and play games from 15 years ago and compete in those. Even some of those have circuits. People get to compete for millions of dollars if they play the games that are like on EWC or have, developer circuits, this and that. But even outside of those, right? Regionals are getting way bigger. It's not even just the majors, like the uprising of regionals, things like SQXL, right? That is going on everywhere, right? And so like I can't look at the current situation and think like, bro, I can't see how fighting games are not doing great, right? I think they're doing fantastically right now. So by that definition, I would say yes, this is a golden age of fighting games. But that's not what he means, right? What he means is he wants to have arguments with people over, are the current games being played good or not, right? That's what he wants to say. He wants to say the current lineup of games is dog shit. I think it was better before whenever we were playing old stuff. And I have expressed my discontent with the overall sentiment of like new game, new thing bad, old thing good, right? But I especially have an issue because what a lot of people don't understand and a lot of people don't know, right? And some of you might not know this either because depending on how long you've been in the fighting game community, I wouldn't know this if I didn't research myself because I wasn't even around like that, right? It always changes, right? The narrative always changes around certain generations of games. Almost never while people are in a current generation is it spoken highly of, right? It's just the nature of the way people think about things, especially in this era where things get patched, right? Almost never do you see people actually be like, yeah, no, these games are really good while they're being played currently, right? What always happens is they'll wait 5 or 10 years after it's done being played, right? And it's all in retrospect. And then they'll be like, oh yeah, bro, this era was the best, bro. We had this game. Everyone was happy. But like, you weren't. You weren't. And this has happened with every generation, like every single generation this has happened of, bro. People talk shit on Third Strike, on Street Fighter 4, on Street Fighter 5. Now they're up to Street Fighter 6. And now people want to go back and say Street Fighter 5 was so good. Street Fighter 4 was so good. Street Fighter Third Strike was still good. It's like these cycles of discourse like always happen, right? It's cyclical. And so I wish people would just say that like, if you're, so I also think that like the idea of like, rehashing or beating a dead horse on, I think Street Fighter 6 is bad and I think the old games are good. It's like, okay, this has been said a million times. How about we actually talk about things? How about we actually speak about our preferences and why we may prefer one thing over another? Because at the end of the day, it is just preference, right? There are always going to be people that do actually prefer the older games or this or that. There's going to be people that prefer what we're playing now. And there's nothing wrong with that in and of itself. I just think that it's very disingenuous to make posts like this, because like you're really just trying to convince people that things are shitty right now, right? And I don't think that's true. You might think it's true, but when I say this, when I make this statement, I really mean it. I think right now, currently in 2026, if you can't find a fighting game to play and enjoy, you don't like fighting games. And I mean that. I really fucking mean that, okay? And that's not to say that you have to like a certain game or this or that. Like, this is not me gatekeeping. I'm saying this, there's never been more choice than now, right? Ever. There's never been more choice. Ever. You have so many different styles and flavors of games, and if you don't like any of the modern games that are out, you can go back and play the old shit. We got Fightcade, we got people doing crazy ass tournaments at big events, even for old games that are 15, 20 years old. Bro, if you cannot find something to play, you do not like fighting games, right? You might like the idea of fighting games, and that's a lot of people. A lot of people like the idea of fighting games, but they don't actually like fighting games, right? And I've spoken on this before. Some people have a really hard time letting go. Some people convince themselves that, yeah, I really like fighting games, but if 10, 15 years pass and every single game that comes out, you just don't like, then maybe you should reevaluate what it means to actually like the things that you say that you do, you know? And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, right? No one has to like fighting games. No one has to like anything. No one's like, no one is obligated to do so, right? You're your own person. You get to make your own choices, right? But at some point, you have to, you can't ignore the science, right? In my opinion, you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with others, especially. Like, if you're gonna have conversations with people, then you got to be honest with them. Don't be disingenuous. Why? Why are we doing that? For what reason? Just tweet, hey guys, I think the current lineup of games is bad. And you will go on the pile with hundreds upon hundreds of other posts and people that have said similar things before. You have people that believe what you say already, right? That already exists. So, like, you're not bringing it. I hate that this masquerade is like bringing something new to the table. It's like, no, this is just the same. This is the same veiled bullshit that we've been dealing with for the last, what? I mean, as long as I've been in the scene, right? It's like, I've been dealing with this. So it's like, this is not anything new. And I'm relatively new to fighting game scene, right? Some of these guys been playing fighting games like before I was born or and shit. Like I you know, I don't really have a whole lot to say to that, you know? It just is what it is. It's either you figure something out and or you move on, right? And you know, nobody likes to be told like, hey, maybe you should take a step away from, you know, a certain genre of games that you've convinced yourself that you love, but some of you have really unhealthy relationships with fighting games, honestly. Some of you have really, really unhealthy relationships with fighting games. And I hate to see it, right? I hate it. I hate that you guys have to go through this, but like, sometimes it's what's best, bro. You're like, you sitting around for 10 years waiting for the reincarnation of Third Strike to be released in 2027. It's like, you're just shooting yourself in the foot, bro. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen, bro. You know, like it's just not. It's just not. That's not going to happen. You gotta have realistic expectations, man. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense the way people have positioned themselves. Like they boxed themselves in, I think. But anyway, yeah, I think this tweet is really bad. All this to say, I think this tweet is really bad. And so we go to the next one. Okay, this is a big one. A lot of people have been talking about this. This is an interesting read, so I'll go ahead and put this into chat for those who did not read this one. It's decently long, and so, like, fair warning, like, you're gonna need some time to set aside. So this is the source of a lot of discourse in the community right now. Is Pat the Flip, which, if you pay attention to Guilty Gear Xrd at all, very strong chip player. Has plenty of medals and this and that. Been around in the community much longer, like way longer than I have. He's been around. My man's just been around, right? And so he was on the 2XKO dev team. He was there pretty much from the beginning, if I remember correctly, because he's on the team for about 10 years, right? So he's pretty much there from the beginning. So he was impacted by the layoffs in January. And so now that 2XKO, they are, for those of you who have not been keeping up, obviously this has been a really big thing, but I shouldn't assume that everybody knows what's going on. So 2XKO announced that they're going to be ending active development this year. I believe in December is when that will be the final version of the game, and it won't be updated anymore, right? And so that is a pretty big deal, right? That is a really, really big deal. That has got a lot of people talking about a whole different things. And the worst part, whenever something like this happens, is that like there are people that use it to push a narrative, right? And you will see that. You will see that a lot on this particular one. There's a lot of people pushing narratives, and a lot of people trying to use this situation as like trying to make some crazy point. There's a lot of people like trying to get validation by saying, see, I told you guys it was going to do this or this, so they can try to make themselves feel smart. And a lot of that, I think, is because you people are not used to being correct about things. And so anytime you remotely resemble something that you might have been correct taking a shot in the dark on, you're like, oh, look at me, I'm so smart, I'm so knowledgeable about fighting games. Yeah, I'm so fucking smart, bro. Look at me. I told you. It's like you're not helping anyone, right? There's nothing positive to be gleaned from that behavior in the first place, and that is just dog shit in general, right? So straight up. So now that we've gotten past that, Pat made an article where he went over his thoughts on everything that went down with 2XKO along the way, from an inside perspective, because obviously he was on the dev team the whole time, so he got to see what went down, right? And weigh in on what's saying some, and of course, there's some information here that people didn't know before, that they learned during this, right? And his perspective is very interesting because of kind of the stance he takes on the way the opportunity was presented to him and how he took advantage of the opportunity and this and that, right? And so you will see people quote retweet and talk about this for a while, because it is a point of contention for a lot of people. There's a lot of disagreement about whether, this was the right way to approach things or not. You will have people talk about this to the end of time. Almost every single video you see on YouTube that talks about the rise and downfall of 2XKO is probably going to have this article in it. Like it's a lot of people are talking about this. So if you manage to dodge all of that up until this point, that's what we're looking at. It's like so some interesting things from his article. So first of all, I just want to make it so clear, right? And I have been opposed to these people for a long time, like a long time. So I don't know where these people come from. So we see it with Sony in regards to Tokon. We see it with Riot in regards to 2XKO. It's like, I don't know how to put this, so I'm just going to be blunt, right? These companies that you guys are like defending, they do not care about you. I cannot stress that enough. And no matter how much you try to redirect the conversation as like a soulless business, right? Like, because I see a lot of people acting in that way as well. It's like, well, they're like, as a business, so they have to do this and this and this. Like, first of all, like most of you don't actually know how business works. You're LARPing as someone who knows how business actually works, but none of that shit even matters, right? At the end of the day, no matter what happens, whether we're talking about Sony or Riot or this or that, they're going to be okay, right? That's the important thing. That's the important thing to realize. No matter what happens, right? They're going to be all right. These companies are too big to fail, right? It's really sad that we've gotten to that point where they can literally make the most dog shit decisions ever and still be afloat, i.e. Sony with the whole digital games thing, right? The way they've handled Tokon and this and that, but they are too big to fail. So I don't know why people feel the need to go into Twitter replies and try to play like run defense for these big ass companies. They don't need that. Okay. These are not people. They're made up of people that live and breathe, and they have aspirations and they have families and they have jobs, right? But the company itself does not give a fuck, right? They don't care about you and they never will. You are just a digit to them, right? Very, very important for like, if we're going to have this conversation, this really needs to be said. This really needs to be said. Cause some of the shit I'm seeing, I'm like, bro, do you have investment? Like, Do you own stocks or something? Like, what's going on here? Like, I can't believe the amount of dog shit I've seen. And it's crazy because, like, Riot, I don't even think Riot is publicly traded. So you can't even say, like, oh, yeah, I'm trying to protect my assets. Like, I don't think you can buy shares of Riot. I don't think you can do that. I'm pretty sure Tencent just owns everything. Someone feel free to correct me on that. But I think that they're not publicly traded. It's like, hi, Hemar. What's up, bro? How you doing? But anyway, so the things that stuck out to me on this are some things involving like his mentality while on the dev team and the design philosophy, right? So one of the things that you'll see people talk about is this quote. I'll go ahead and search for it, right? So this will get brought up a lot. So he says, anyone who worked with me during his time at Riot with 2XKO can probably remember a meeting or conversation where I said one of three things. My job is to figure out how to make an awesome fighting game. Making it profitable is someone else's job. Now, I've seen a lot of people take issue with this. Like a lot of people take issue with this. And I think at its core, this is not incorrect. It does feel very maybe tone deaf to make this statement like right after the announcement and whatnot, because he's not the only person on the dev team. That's a real important thing, right? He's not the only person, right? And I have some pretty strong criticisms of Pat's mentality and how he handled things, but in essence, like, this is not a bad statement, right? He's right. He's not a marketing team. He was brought on to work on the development of the game. It's supposed to be Riot propers, the people that get paid the really big dollars, like the marketing managers and the higher ups. Like, they're supposed to come up with a strategy that maximizes on its potential, and so it can reach as many people as it needs to. That is their job. That is not the dev's job necessarily, right? So I do agree with that to some extent, but again, you're not the only one on the dev team, right? So like, this is like not something that feels very good to see. I think if you're on the same team as him and you just lost your job, right? Like, it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling whatsoever. So there's that. I'd rather make an interesting failure than a boring success. Also agree with this. I as a creative, right? I think like this is a mentality that you almost have to have. You almost have to have this, right? If you're gonna create something that brings value to people and creates unique experiences for people, I agree with this. Like, yes, I get that. I get that. However, I think where he's misguided is that success and failure don't have to be on the onset, right? So while I agree that this is a thing, right, it also could have become that with time. Like, it didn't have to release the most omega interesting thing, but obviously games are live service and they get patched over time. And so like, you might consider making sacrifices on the early onset to make sure that you can capture that appeal, right? And then over time, you slowly change it into the game that you wanted to make, right? But again, you're not the only one making the decision. So like, with that in mind, you always have to be wary of like, how do my actions and my ideologies impact those around me, right? Very important. And then this last one, right? This last one is the one I definitely take issue with the most. Why not? The worst thing that happens is we all get fired. Now, Pat, this is a very privileged statement to make, right? And like, those who take issue with this statement, fair. Totally fair. This comes from an unbelievable amount of privilege to be able to say something like this, right? So like, yes, you were on the dev team making a Riot salary for 10 years, right? That's a lot of money. Riot, hey, if anything, it's a soulless fucking company, but they pay their employees well, right? That much is definitely true. So he's making a good salary for 10 years working on a game that he even says himself, like, it's a passion project, right? He wants to make something out of passion, right? You can't say something like this, right? You're living the dream, right? You're living the dream. How many people would have killed for the opportunity to work on a game with that big of a company, that much opportunity, be paid that much, right? Stable salary. There's a lot of people out there that go broke trying to make the game that they want, right? There's plenty. There's plenty of people out there that try to make their dream a reality, and they flounder along the way because they just don't have the resources, right? You don't have that issue. You don't have that challenge. You get to focus on just making the game with no strings attached, right? Asterisk. Not everyone has that though, right? And not everyone is on the dev team for 10 years, right? If everyone on that team was 10-year veterans, then okay, maybe this statement would be a little bit more reasonable, right? Because all of you would have had 10 years to stack up your paper, build up skills, create value within yourself to take to other places in the market, right? That makes perfect sense if you're all 10 years, but that's not the case, right? We saw people get laid off that were not there for that long, and not everyone's situation is the same, right? People have families, they have bills, they have debt, they have all of that. You can't just say worst thing that happens is we all get fired, because that worst case scenario is much worse for others than it is for you, right? Some people needed that job, right? I don't think it's okay for you to discount how important the job is to them just because you feel like it's not that important to you, right? That is definitely a big point of criticism I have for him, because it feels like he's just out of touch because he got so used to that 10 years of just, getting to do him. And I'm not mad. I'm not mad at him getting the opportunity, right? I'm not. I'm really not. I think the position he found himself in is literally the dream, right? Think about it. How many people in this world get to make 6 figures plus working on exactly what they want to be working on, right? How many people just get to do what they love and make good money doing it? It's not that many people. It's a very small percentage, right? And so, I don't blame him for taking the opportunity. That's what we're all chasing, right? That's what we're chasing. But I think it is very, very, like I said, tone deaf before. Like, this doesn't feel good, I think, whenever you consider that it's not just you, right? There were a lot of people on this team. There were a lot of people that cared about this, right? And you might have been a little bit more rigid on how you wanted to approach things, but maybe they were more flexible. I mean, I will never know unless I ask every single individual person, but I think that's the part of this particular paragraph that I'm like, okay, that just doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel good at all. Right. And throughout this article, that's mostly what I take issue with. I've seen a lot of think pieces on whether, a lot of people will focus on the outcome. It's very easy to speak on these things in hindsight for people, right? It's easy now that the game has suffered the way that it has to turn around and say that, well, whatever you tried, it didn't work and it was a dumb idea at first. It's no, I honestly, I do not disagree with his ideology on that, right? I really do not. I think the principle that he is rooted in, it makes a lot of sense, but he's missing the nuance, right? He's missing the nuance of this isn't just you. If this is you in an indie studio, bro, you're chilling. Perfect mentality, I think. If you're like an indie dev trying to just make something really cool and bring it to the world, right? And you're by yourself, or everyone that's on the team got hired with that in mind, right? If you're the person doing the hiring for the team and you tell them your vision, they're like, you know what? I'm on board with that, right? And you all have that same vision, then great. Fantastic. I have no qualms with that. But that's not the case here, right? That's clearly not the case here. And so that's where I think he kind of missed the mark. I feel like that's where he kind of missed the mark here. It's it's very easy, I think, to get used to that lifestyle and being rooted in it so long, it's hard to go back, right? I've told it to you guys. I consider myself to have a similar type of privilege, right? I get to boot up and talk about fighting games and run fighting game tournaments for a living, right? I get to literally do what I love. I think it would be very hard for me to go from doing this to not doing this, right? It's very hard to step away from that. You get real used to living the good life. You really do. And adjusting is hard. And so I think it's very clear to see like he just kind of lost touch with that. Is like he kind of but unfortunately, right? I don't think people will really understand like that the root of that ideology, right? People obviously have an issue with the outcome, right? The input and the output are very different. Do I think that 2XKO and the way things progress are solely a result of the dev team and the decisions that they made, or that even more focused? Like, do I think Pat is the reason that the game did not perform in the way that they wanted to? No, no, I don't think so. I really honestly do not think so. The easiest way I can put this is so long as the dynamic. The cool thing about you know what? Hold on. Let me take a step. Let me step back and give him some props. He does go through and like break down like the nuances of free to play model and what that means in terms of like how much money every player has to spend in order for it to be profitable and this and that, right? So no matter what, I think regardless, and he says this too, he says regardless of whether they decided to make 2XKO as it stands, or if they would have kept it safer, right? Safer and gone something more along the lines as, is like some of their contemporaries, like making it more like Street Fighter 6 or Grand Blue or something like that. He felt like even just doing those things with a league skin, right, does not stand out enough to actually make it profitable, right? And there's some truth there. Right? Especially, and like think about it as a creative, right? If you're a creative and, you have quote unquote competitors, right? Do you want to make the same product they're making, or do you want to make something that you can call your own, right? I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. But again, it didn't have to be there originally, right? That's the thing. It's like the thing about live service games is that they become things over time, right? Very few games, free to play or not, very few games release in like fantastic states, bro. Right? Patch 1 of like almost every fighting game is a shit show. And it's to be expected, right? There's a lot of bugs. People don't know how the fuck the game is played. People find really fucked up stuff that wasn't intended, and then you iterate on it. You go back to the drawing board, and sometimes your visions change, right? And that is just a part of game dev, right? Like that's just kind of how it works. And so I don't agree with the idea that like it like had to be exactly what you wanted it to be on release in order for it to eventually get there, right? And there are many game devs that will tell you as well, especially like when you're working with a bigger company, sometimes they just have to make a successful game that maybe they're not as passionate about at first, so that then after they are trusted enough to go and make the game that they really want to make afterwards. There's plenty of instances of this if you know anything about game dev, right? And I don't know why you would feel like you're immune to that, right? Obviously, ideally, people would just get to make the things that they want to, just out of the gates and not have to waste time. But again, you're not alone, right? You're not alone here. You're just, you're not a one-man dev team, and you do have a big publisher to answer to. So it's just not all there, right? It's just it's just not all there. But yeah, like I don't know. I read through and there was definitely stuff that I agree with and stuff that I disagree with. Like this part I think is really important too. Or was it? Wasn't this one? Yes, this part, right? I saw a lot of people take issue with this, and I was like, wait, really? I was very surprised. I was very surprised to see people take issue with this part. He says, I sincerely hope that anyone else in the position to take creative risk on the corporate dime does so. The more irresponsible, the better, because we have enough boring successes out there already. If by some chance you get to take the shot like this, take the fucking shot. Tell me about it later. Especially in the contemporary game development industry where successful dev teams are laid off anyway, you might as well go for it. Now, This first part is just correct, bro. Like I don't know how else to say it, bro. uh, you definitely like if you're working for a big company, bro. You need to get everything from that big company as you possibly can, and I mean that, and I fucking mean that, like because like I said, they don't really care about you that much, right? Whether you work for them or not, they don't. You're only as good as the money you bring to them, right? And so while you're there, if you have benefits and you have opportunities, you need to be capitalizing on those opportunities. Absolutely, right? However, again, he kind of crosses the line here, right? Where it's like this ideology is great, it's fine. Some will disagree with it, but most of the people that disagree are like, yeah, they'd be dick sucking these companies for whatever reason. The nihilism, though, I don't like the nihilism here, though. Right, this part is it's very annoying, right? So he's saying, especially the contemporary game development industry where successful dev teams are getting laid off anyway, you might as well go for it. Now, this is a form of nihilism, in my opinion, and I am pretty against all forms of nihilism, pretty much, right? I really hate the idea that like, oh, you know, there's no point in doing anything because things will never get better, right? Like it's so against my being as a person, right? I fundamentally disagree with like any type of any type of ideology that's rooted in this, right? And so like I have a hard time agreeing because like you can be the change that you want to see, right? In fact, I would say that you were in a position to be the change that you wanted to see because of the privilege that you had as a developer on Riot, and you know, having the money, having the resources, having a big team around you. You have the resources to like make tangible change, right? And so I don't agree with the idea of like, well, you know, even if it was a success, we'd have got fired anyway. And so like, you know, just fuck it, right? I do agree that like, yes, squeeze the hell out of the companies for all they're worth. But like, bro, again, you're not the only one on this team, bro. You're not. Your risks carry consequences for not just you. And I think anyone reading this, if it was just Pat that lost his job and nobody else, they wouldn't have an issue with this. There'd be people that are like, yeah, I'm glad he got fired because he's a fucking failure. It's like, bro, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at his, I'm not mad at his base ideology. I'm mad at how he failed to see how this impacts not only those around him in the workplace, right? Because it's not just his coworkers that are impacted. And this is the part that I feel like nobody has talked about this. So this happening to this game has bigger consequences than just people lost their job. I think people losing their job, it fucking sucks. Some of these people are my friends, like straight up. These are people that I go to events with and I have conversations with and I play fighting games with, right? These are friends, right? And that fucking sucks. I never want that for anyone, like especially in current state of world, bro. Like it fucking sucks. It sucks to be jobless, and it sucks even more to job hunt if you've had to do that at all with the current state of the world. It's terrible. It's fucking awful, right? I don't wish that upon anyone. It's not good. However, there is oh, holy shit, that was ugh. Okay, sorry. There is something even worse, right? There's something even worse than people losing their jobs here, right? And it's hard to see because, you know, a lot of people are going to be focused on this article and focused on 2XKO itself and talk about what could have been and this and that. But the biggest thing is this impacts the fighting game community in a pretty large, significant negative way. And the reason is because they're just, you got to understand that like big companies copy things from each other, right? They do it. That's all big companies do at this point, right? They all just copy each other. They're just like, okay, what are the other people doing? Let's see if we can do that, right? That is success for them. How can we make it work for us? That's like a big part of running a company at this point. And unfortunately, fighting games, being as niche as they are, we don't get many opportunities like this. Like there's never been an opportunity like this before, right? Like Riot working on a fighting game is unprecedented. A lot of people would have like 10 years ago, if you ask people like, do you think that'll ever happen? Bro, no. They would have been like, you're fucking crazy, bro. What the fuck would the dev of League of Legends want to do with fighting games of all things, bro? Why would they, you know? They would never in a million years have thought that this was like something that could actually happen, right? And so, unfortunately, because this fucked up, right? This whole situation is fucked up. And it's a pretty large fuck up because this is not contained within fighting game circles, right? Everyone knows about this. Everyone that plays video games knows about this happening, right? With 2XKO. Like they're hearing about it, whether they're learning about it for the first time or they followed it from the beginning. Like they know that this shit happened because the post announcing that they were stopping development and this and that got a lot of eyes, like a lot of eyes. A lot of people were now talking about this that didn't even know that the game was out, right? There was a lot of people that were like, this game is out? What the fuck? I didn't know about that. That to say nothing of, obviously, I think there's a big failure of marketing with 2XKO that can't be ignored, right? But that's not, to me, that's not the dev's fault. That's not the dev team's fault, right? That's Riot Proper's fault. Big Riot, as I'll call them. Those fuckers didn't do their job, I think. But as always, when something fails, and I've said this a few different times, but when something fails, it's not the big people that lose their jobs. It's the people under them always, right? You need to do budget cuts. Oh, you're not going to get rid of your higher ups. Oh, no. Even if they're shitty at their jobs, they won't face consequences for it. No. It's the little guys, right? It's the people actually putting their passion and care into these games. I'm sure a lot of people sitting on the board of directors at Riot don't even know what the fuck goes on in this game, bro. They probably haven't even looked at it before. Promise you. They just sit there and try to collect the check, right? And when the number doesn't line up the way that they want to, get the fuck rid of it. Get it out. We're not trying to deal with that anymore. But unfortunately, the result of this is that there will be other big companies that may have at some point considered making a fighting game, right? That now will look at this and be like, well, is it really worth it, right? Should we really do that? Because Riot's not a small company, bro. They're going to be like, if Riot couldn't make that shit work, how the fuck are we going to make it work? Right? And so it doesn't just impact Pat. It doesn't just impact the dev team around him. It impacts everyone, right? Everyone that cares about fighting games. This is impacted. And so, again, I just don't think he really understood the scope of his actions, right? I don't think he understood that, like, okay, yeah, no, this is a big deal, right? This game was a big deal. This game was a big deal, right? But you know, hindsight's 2020. It's now where it is, and you know, life goes on. Life goes on. It fucking sucks for this particular situation, but life goes on at the end of the day. And so, like, that's how I feel about this. Again, people are gonna argue with each other about this for the next 6 months. Whatever. Maybe they'll never stop talking about it with the way it was. But I think a lot of you are fucking stupid. Okay, that was mean. I think a lot of you don't get it. Right? This game and where it went wrong is really... A lot of it is rooted in the relationship between Big Riot and the dev team, and the want for success, right? I don't think Riot wanted this game to be a success, right? Truthfully, I think if they wanted it to be a success, we would have seen things handled in a different way, for sure. If you look at their other projects that they actually want to be a success, you can see that they handle it very differently than they did 2XKO. So that's a big thing. Like, you're already up against it because the company that you're supposed to be making a game for, like, doesn't really want you to thrive, right? That's a big thing to try to get past. That's a big thing to try to get past. And most of the issues on 2XKO are really just born from that. Right? It's really just that is the essence. This is a Riot problem. Right? It's not, I really don't think it's anything else. Like, people were going to try to deflect and they're going to try to make this about something it's not. People were like, oh, well, it's because it's a versus game. Oh, it's because the gameplay was bad. Oh, it's because you didn't put my favorite league champion in it. Doesn't fucking matter. Does not fucking matter. No amount of revisionist history is going to turn this into a game that Riot thinks can actually be profitable to the extent that it needed to be, if Riot themselves do not want to put in the effort for it. It just will not. It will not ever get there. They could have made this League of Legends Street Fighter. It still fails. I truthfully believe that. Keep everything the same. You change this into a 1v1 fighter, traditional, plays very similarly to a game that's already on the market, and it's been proven to be it still fails. Right? And it fails by Riot's metrics, right? Because there are different types of failures. I think as a fighting game, 2XKO was a success. And people are going to get mad at me about saying that. But like, a successful fighting game is not the same as a success to Riot. Riot's idea of success is unreasonable for a fighting game, I would argue. I would argue it's completely unreasonable for a fighting game. And they might have known that. Maybe they knew that. Maybe they didn't. But this was never going to do League of Legends numbers. Never. Ever. Never. It's a fighting game. It's a niche genre, right? In comparison. It's never going to get there, right? It just doesn't ever get there. So it doesn't matter that, like, yeah, okay, the gameplay is different. Wow, people argue about gameplay on a fighting game. Never seen that before. It's not like that happens on every fucking fighting game ever, right? It's like, it's the same shit, bro. It's really just, they did not take the steps needed to make it a success. And that all goes down to even the very name of the game, right? What is the biggest selling point of a League of Legends fighting game? It's League of Legends characters. That is the biggest selling point. So why is that not communicated in titling? Why is that not cross-promoed in your other games? Why is it not in the League client? Why am I not seeing it plastered around where Riftbound packs are bought? Why? You can't tell me that they wanted this game to succeed and they didn't take those steps. Right? So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at on that. Some will have conspiracy theories about maybe a contract was signed and they were forced to put out the game and this and that. I'm not going to speak on that because I don't know. It's something that could be true, but like, I have no evidence for that. So like, I don't know. All I know is that using my frontal lobe, I cannot be convinced that they wanted this game to succeed based on how they took, based on the steps they took, right? And I think that's reasonable. I think that's a reasonable conclusion to come to, right? That's how I feel. That's how I feel on that end. I don't think any amount of changing this game into something that it was not makes it a success on Riot's end, ever. But I think if you look at the year that it's had, right, since January, the formal release is in January, when it came out on console and this and that. If you look at people's enthusiasm about the game and the content built around it and the events built around it and this and that, how could I call that not a successful fighting game, bro? Because Riot wants to try to make $1 trillion, that means it's a failure as a fighting game? I disagree. I don't agree. I don't agree. And you can look at event entry counts to back up what I'm saying. Because that's not even like, we're not even getting into the idea of like, oh, we're talking about like sales numbers. Like, obviously, free to play game, so like dynamics are different, right? But we're talking about people that actually care enough about the game to go offline and play it with other people, right? Their numbers were not small. It just wasn't, right? Think about it. It just wasn't. So, yeah, I don't call it. I don't think it's a failure of a fighting game, honestly. It's just, unfortunately, circumstances are circumstances. And we go next. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. People are gonna take it into their own hands. I see people modding fucking Yone into the game, and people got contingency plans for when servers inevitably get turned off. Don't know when that will be. Who knows? But there are already people doing the things that they need to do to ensure the longevity of the game, even without Riot's backing. And that proves that people do give a fuck. They do give a fuck. They were aiming for SF6 numbers. Promise you, even if it so Pat actually goes over that in this article. I think he goes over it in this article. Even if it sells SF6 numbers, it still is not anywhere near the success needed to like be like super profitable in Riot's eyes. It just doesn't work that way. Because it's a free to play game, right? So like even if it does SF6 numbers, it's like it's not enough. It's not it's not enough. But that also doesn't mean that free to play can't work. Cause I've seen that a lot too. Right. Oh, this proves that free to play just can't work. It's like, no, that's not the case. It's not the case. These circumstances fucking suck, but like, no. I mean, we have examples of free to play games working already. Brawlhalla is twice the size of Street Fighter 6, right? That's not by accident, right? Like, it's a guy. Now, is there luck involved? It is. Yeah. Brawlhalla is huge. Brawlhalla is massive, bro. And they have everything that you pretty much want in a fighting game, right? They've had they've had circuits, they've had tournaments, they have all that. Now, it is the only one to do it that way, for sure. But that proves it can be done. And in this world, that's all you really need, is to prove that it can be done. And someone will do it. Right? That's really what it takes. Now, is there luck involved in game dev and stuff like that? Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. One of our biggest games in the fighting game community is really fucking lucky. Like Guilty Gear Strive, really fucking lucky game. I'm not saying it wouldn't have been a success without it, but them choosing to make it roll back right as pandemic hit contributes hugely to why that game is as big as it is today and why Arxis is facing the successes that they have today, right? And no one can control the fucking global pandemic, bro. It just happened to line up that way. And they happened to be in the position to take advantage of it, and they were able to, right? That's what I mean by it's not. Sometimes you just get lucky, right? Sometimes your game goes viral on social media, and suddenly people actually give it a try, and they're like, "Oh, this game is actually good," and people play it, right? There's a lot of stuff like that. And so, yeah, it's just a lot that goes into it, for sure. Even if it's successful, they'd have to run in the negative way. It'd be like that. But Riot, there's something else, bro. They could have easily kept the game alive with the money they have. No, for sure. I have no doubt in my mind that if you give this game another year or two, bro, I think it was already a success. I think it would have popped off, especially when they have more champions in the game, and they have time to like really flesh out like how they want the game to actually play flow wise, right? I think it would have done great. Maybe they actually put some marketing money into it. Maybe consider a title update, 2XKO, the League of Legends fighter. Maybe a subtitle. He's like, maybe. I think the dev team is very competent, honestly. You'll see people say otherwise. They like think the dev team is idiots. No, I mean like a subtitle. So if it was 2XKO and then even the subtitle was like the League of Legends fighter, right? Even that would have been a lot better. Cause then it's like direct, oh yeah, that's the League of Legends fighter. Right? Like is it like it would have been a big deal. It would have been so but 2XKO is just to add reinforcement to what I'm saying, right? 2XKO is the latest in a long line of failures from Riot, right? They're a company that is one of the biggest game companies ever, right? They make one of the most popular one of the most popular games ever, straight up. League of Legends, huge, right? And the crazy part is, I saw, I was looking at Sajam talk about this topic, and I saw a Twitch chatter unironically say, "Yo, League of Legends not that big." It's like, bro, this is the type of people that are discoursing about 2XKO. You guys don't know what is going on. You guys don't know what's going on. League of Legends is massive. Valorant is massive. But if you look at their other projects, right, it's not great success rate for Riot. Riot Forge died. They took that shit down real quick. Runeterra, it's rough. Like, they're doing well with Riftbound right now, but who knows where that's gonna go. What was it? Hightail? I think Hightail is another one. It's like they do this. Like, they try to they like try to like venture into these, they're trying to spread their influences as wide as they can, but they end up skipping steps and it ends up a failure, right? Unironically, they're the games that Riot have done the best on have been like not copies, but like heavily inspired from other games, right? Hightail was not Riot at first. So Hightail was like, the way I understand it was not Riot at first, and it was doing well. Then Riot bought it or acquired it, and they killed it. And then they let go of it. They released their hold on it, and then it started doing well again. And so like they it's crazy, right? It's like, bro, what am I listening to? Like, so that's kind of what I mean by like, yes, very successful company. That doesn't mean that all of their ventures have been a success. Their biggest successes have been them taking extremely heavy inspiration from other games. League of Legends, if you know the story of how League of Legends came to be with Warcraft 3 and Dota, right? You know what I'm talking about. Valorant is literally a CSGO clone, right? Obviously, it's different. It has abilities and this and that. Obviously, it has its own game flow. And that's not to discount Valorant. Like, I don't think Valorant's a bad game or anything like that, but it's very clearly like, okay, we want to make a CSGO-like game, a CS-like game, right? We want to take some of that market. TFT, that was Dota Auto Chess. TFT was made from Dota Auto Chess. Yes. Again, like all of their biggest success. You think it's a coincidence? You think it's a coincidence? It's not. It's not a coincidence. So that's what I mean. That's something that I think not a whole lot of people really understand. Some do, and they don't give a fuck. And it is what it is. I can't force people to think critically, but there's a track record here. So like, you want me to believe that this was just this one time is not Riot's fault, bro? Like, no, it was definitely their fault. But like, all the takes around it are also stupid. Like, yeah, bro, they shouldn't have gone with the art style that they did. You're gonna argue with me that 2XK was a bad looking game? That's what you're gonna do? Yeah, bro, it's because their inputs were simple. Okay, 2XKO's execution is like one of the hardest in the current market. Motions are not. That's not to be argued. Like, that game is hard. That game is hard, bro. That shit is not easy. People just tunnel vision on things that don't matter, bro. It just doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter, right? It just doesn't. So like, yeah, stop being idiots, please. Stop it. It's fucking dumb. It's fucking dumb. Anyway, moving on from that. But obviously, like, this is a topic that'll go on to the end of time. You're gonna see 8 million, video essays on it, and this and that, and The worst part, I think, is that there will be a lot of them made by people that don't really understand fighting game dynamics, and so their perspective on this is going to be very limited because they don't know. They don't know how this shit usually works, right? Just be like that. Anyway, moving on. Okay, there's another topic. No, I already read the article. I just talked about it because it's important. It's too important for me to not speak on. So Rack makes this post. It takes FGC niggas decades to realize this. Stop releasing fighting games with shit netcode, mediocre netcode, bad UI, no good offline modes, boring story, etc. Where's the passion, fuck nigga? I promise you, these niggas don't care if the gameplay is hard or not. And his quote, the tweet that he was quoting was, fighting games shouldn't be made for the FGC. They should just be good video games. So I saw a lot of people have issues with this take, actually. And I think there's merit to it. Some will feel some type of way about this, right? The thing is, like, the idea of like something being made for someone is like, I think, less rigid than you think, right? Right, like for like something being made for someone, like for a specific group of people, it's like, yeah, bro, like, are FGC the only people you want to play your game? Of course not. You don't make money that way. He's like, respectfully, you don't make money if it's only fighting game community that plays your game. You don't, right? You need casuals, and you need to have it some type of pull with influencers, social media, stuff like that. Like, if you want your game to like sell well, if the goal is to sell well, then like, yeah, you can't just make it for just fighting game people. Now, there's a lot of hardcore fighting game fans that feel offended by that, right? Because they are running with a narrative that like games are not being made for fighting game players anymore, right? Because they can't do quarter circles. This input shit is the most brain dead. Like, I just can't. You people, bro. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you people make me sick. All right. They have turned this into like the most like nonsensical virtue signaling dog shit ever, bro. Like, is the game good or not? Did we forget to talk about whether the game is good or not? Why are you so mad? Like, why are you so mad? There's not even that many games that are only simple inputs. There's not. But they want to build this up like a boogeyman that is like taking over games. Like, bro, you guys are... God, do you play games? Do you play games or what? Do you... Do you play games or not? Thank you for the raid, Gray. Appreciate you, bro. Do you play games or not, bro? I don't really understand this. But this, I don't know if he's talking about I don't think he's talking about 2XKO here, by the way. I don't think he is. I love how he says shit netcode, mediocre netcode. But what game does this apply to, though? You know? Two XKO has by far the best netcode in fighting games. That's not even an issue. It's like not even close. It's not. we will be taking real damage whenever they eventually turn servers off for that game, bro. Like that, it is the best netcode. Yeah, it's not even an argument. But like, yeah, DOA 6, yeah, DOA 6 did do that, but that game was also like it's a version, right? It's a version of a game. It's not the same. Now I understand that it's unacceptable. Like, I agree. Like, DOA 6 absolutely should have had rollback, but it's not the same as them releasing DOA 7 and there's just no rollback, right? I think those dynamics are a little bit different. But yeah, like, I mean, even they had some contemporaries to go off of, right? Because I'm pretty sure Virtua Fighter. I think Virtual Fighter did like a title update that had rollback too, right? I think World Stage or Revo, was it Revo that had rollback, and then they updated it to World Stage? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nen Impact almost released with no rollback, yeah. And then it did have shitty netcode afterwards. That's true. Yeah, but there's not that many games that there's like generally every game has rollback. Every like I think like every game has rollback now, damn near, right? And if it doesn't have rollback now, the next installment will. Like VF Crossroads is gonna have rollback. I'm positive. Why would they even? Why would they even go back and update VF5 if they weren't gonna make Crossroads with it, right? It's like you don't really have that issue anymore. No good offline modes. It's like okay, so the problem with the offline mode thing, right, is like doing modes outside of just the core gameplay experience of like playing the fighting game. That takes a good amount of dev time and budget, right? And not every fighting game company, not every company that makes fighting games has it like that, honestly, right? Like Tokon could afford to do that because it's Marvel Sony money. But how many games have that big of a backer, right? Capcom, huge. Outside of just Street Fighter, right? They got Monster Hunter and Resident Evil. They got a bunch of successful IPs that they can pull resources from. If they were like, okay, to make a successful fighting game, we need to make it have, a good single player deal. The World Tour is huge, right? But how many games actually have the opportunity? Would you call like Guilty Gear Strive single player experience something to write home about? I don't know about Tekken. Is Tekken's single player any good? I'll never hear about it. I know people care a lot about Mortal Kombat story mode and shit like that. But it's like how many? How many, bro? How many games actually like have the resources to like do that? It's not that many. Dragon Ball Fighter's story mode was fucking dog shit, bro. It was terrible. That game was huge. Grand Blue Vanilla single player mode was cool. Yeah, they did that, and the game still flopped. Right? As much as we like, yeah, like RPG mode was dope. Grand Blue Vanilla was the failure. Right? It's a wonder that we even got Rising. Now, their failure wasn't solely their fault, but they did release without rollback in a pandemic, which, they can't control. They can't control that. It's like right before it happened and everything. It's like, it just is what it is. It's is what it is. And that's why going into Rising, they took that shit out. To my dismay, because I think RPG mode was cool. RPG mode was cool. They took that shit out. Rising, a much more successful game than Vanilla. For sure. Right? So, like, yeah. There's a DBZ having a bad story is something you're already used to. True. It'd be like that. You feel like people really want games with cool, recognizable IP that feels good to mash buttons in. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's true. That's always been the case, though. That's always been the case. The biggest games have always been like that. Right? When is it not? Chat. When is it not? Nothing has changed. It's always been that way. It's always been that way from the very beginning. Who's playing Tokon without the word Marvel? I mean, some would. But would it have nearly as much appeal? No, of course not. That's what the IP is there for. That's the whole point. All this shit is just marketing, bro. They're just trying to sell you shit. That's the whole point. Arena fighter sales, true. Arena fighters do that. That's true. But yeah, okay. But that aside, I don't think you have to make a game solely for FGC to make a good game, right? You don't. You can branch out a little bit, bro. You can branch out a little bit. I mean, you fuckers are gonna argue with each other whether the game is good or bad, bro. Like, yeah. Also, like, I feel like fighting game players have a really hard time. Like, I don't know, bro. It's weird because some of y'all like don't play games. I swear. some of y'all don't play games. I swear. Then the other ones like are free to try games, and I'm just like, what are we doing? I'm like, I feel bad for the people that can only play fighting games, honestly. And I swear I'll go band for band on caring about fighting games with anyone on this planet. I really think you will struggle to find someone that cares about fighting games more than me, bro. And even I play other shit. That's like, I'm about this shit, bro. Like, I don't know. I think people need some perspective. Okay, moving on. Moving on from this. Rack is also really funny. This is just a funny dude, bro. He's always on some bullshit. That's a funny nigga, bro. That's a funny nigga. All right, this shit. Okay. So I've already voiced my opinion on this person a few times before. Okay. This is a cautionary tale. This is a cautionary tale to all of you. All right. If I catch you motherfuckers making posts like this on Twitter in 2026, all right, I'm gonna have some things to say. All right. You don't want to appear in a Khalil video, generally. You don't want that. You don't want me to be out here and yelling at people about you. You don't want that. Okay. This fucking guy, bro. I've never seen someone transition out of old school into modern day fighting game community worse than Perfect Legend, bro. He's out here doing AI ass posters, like fucking. He very clearly still is traumatized by this 13-0 shit, but instead of just leaning into it and running with it, he just is going against the grain on fucking everything all the time, talking about, yeah, bro, I don't know anyone to run back, bro. One and dones are the way people should play. It's like, bro, you're a fucking loser, all right? I don't know how else to put it. Sorry, that was pretty loud. This is just Steam chart posting. This is dog shit, bro. Like, what are you doing? Like, you have lost so much relevance that you have to go and do Steam chart posting on your Twitter, bro. Like, bro, you can't be making that much money. You can't be making that much money with this blue check, bro. Like, just go somewhere. Just go somewhere, man. Like, you're not placing in shit anymore. Nobody wants to watch your stream. Nobody wants to play in your shitty ass AI poster events. Bro, like, I'm sorry. I've been way too nice about this for too long. Like, this is so bad. This is so bad. This is so bad. And for what? And for what? For what? So someone can interact with you? Are you starved that much, brother? It's so sad. It's so sad, bro. The crazy part is this is an Evo champion, bro. It was 80 millennia ago, but you know, he had some accolades. He was pretty good. And now he just he just can't transition into modern day, bro. He can't let it go. Yes, you got 13-0'd, bro. Laugh about it. Move on. Instead, you want to act like the whole fucking world is against you because you wanted to embarrass yourself because you lost a first to 10 and then said, nah, bro, it was the character that was the problem. And then you got your ass 3-0'd afterwards. Like, nobody did that to you but you. You are reaping what you sow. If you weren't so obnoxious online, people wouldn't bring it up all the time. But you're just giving people, like, of course they're going to bring it up. You're insufferable. You're insufferable. Of course they're going to bring it up. What else do we have that we don't have anything positive to say about you? You're on here your Steam chart posting in 2026. What do I have positive to say about you? Nothing. Nothing at all. I just don't. I think this is loser behavior. Right? It just is what it is. It's a shame. It's a shame. There are players that come from the generation before us, right? That have adjusted really well into modern fighting game community. This is not one of them. I don't see Justin Wong doing shit like this. He's chilling, and he still is playing in games, and he's still competing, and he's still doing well. He's making content. He's doing this and that. Like, bro, he's chilling. Why can't that be you? Why? It's a shame that it wasn't. I'm ashamed that you took this path, bro. It's really I'm sad for you, bro. I'm sad for you. Like, that ass beating was really traumatizing for you. It's really a shame that it came to this. Like, I can't. Now I'm a shell of a man. All right, bro. Back up. Oh yeah. So this was him responding to the other one. It's like, it's not ridiculous. It's not. It's not. Whether we like to like dance around the issue or not, like, a game that is made specifically directed at competitive fighting game community, right? It doesn't succeed. Like, it doesn't succeed on the sales numbers, right? It could be a great game that people play and are passionate about and all this. It's just not going to sell well, right? It just won't. It just won't, right? And, like, that's okay. That's all right. Like, it's like that's okay. But I don't think this is as ridiculous as you think it is, because we're living in a day where, like, every fighting game that comes out gets updated, right? We start talking about potential sequels and this and that. It's like, yeah, I mean, like, of course they're gonna have to step out of their, it has to be a good video game, right? You need to make a good game. YouTube UI is some garbage. The heart icon covers the end of the paragraph. It's over. So yeah, making a complete game that functions, like, bro, honestly, like, there is a reason that, like, one of the things that comes up time and time again in current day is people ask the question, why is everyone trying to copy Street Fighter? Right? You've probably seen that before. Like, why are people trying to do what SF6 is doing? I don't understand. Right? Two things. One, despite all of the rhetoric that goes on Twitter about SF6, that game is the most successful fighting game ever, pretty much. If we're not counting Smash, right? If we're talking traditional fighting games, it's definitely the most successful fighting game, right? And what did they do to make it a success, right? If you go and you look at Street Fighter's launch, what did it have that most games don't, right? It worked at launch, which seems to be a bigger issue in current day, right? It seems to be a big issue in current day. We're getting a bunch of games that are just unfinished on release. Tokon doesn't have a functioning PC port. Avatar doesn't have spectating or replays or ranked, right? It releases as a completed game that you could click Q on. It has single player content for people that want to do that. It just works. It has good netcode. People can just boot up and play and not have to worry about anything, right? Nowadays, we have to worry about, like, bro, some people can't boot the game because the game just crashes on boot. Like, it's and they put a lot of money into the marketing too. Of course, there was a big influencer push and all that, but that only works if people actually enjoy playing the game, right? And no matter how much anti-Street Fighter 6 sentiment gets pushed, bro, you people that are out here going on tirades about how SF6 sucks, you're the minority, bro. I don't know how to tell you this. That's clearly not what most of the community thinks. It's like, that's very clearly not what most people think, right? If that were the case, then it wouldn't be the biggest fighting game. It just wouldn't. If that's where it is. So, Street Fighter 6 somewhere along the way becomes a cool thing to hate. Because they're in front, right? Everyone wants to take down whoever's in front. It's always been that way. It's always been that way. And so, like, that's not surprising, right? But how do you break that? How do you break through and become a game that can actually perform well long enough to become, like, you can become one type of a success and then transition to the other, right? In most cases, you need to be a success on the sales front first, and then the other stuff, when we talk about like having a proper community behind it and fleshed out infrastructure and all that stuff can come after. It doesn't need to be at release necessarily, right? In fact, a lot of games don't. A lot of games don't. A lot of games release unbalanced as shit. They don't have a whole lot surrounding them. There's not much in the content landscape, stuff like that. Like most games don't, right? They just don't have that. But you can get that with time. If you have a shitty launch, right? If you have a shitty launch, it's really hard to recover, as we're learning, right? It's really hard to recover from a bad launch. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. So yeah, like maybe people should reevaluate like what they mean when they say things like this, because like we're small, right? FGC is small in the grand scheme of things. There's so many more people that play these games than just us. You might feel like you have ownership because you're the fighting game community and you're playing a fighting game, but at the end of the day, the only reason we get the stuff that we have, the reason that we have tours and the reason that we get updates and the reason that we get DLC is not even because of us, right? It's because the player base at large, like people at large, decided to buy into the game and give them the resources to do so and give them a reason to keep doing updates and whatnot. So it's, maybe don't speak as ill on. This shit is more than just us. And it always has been. It's always been this way. This is not new, by the way. Like this is always how it's been. Right. Very small percentage of people in their lives will actually go to a tournament. Right. Very, very small. That's not who's paying the bills. That's not who keeping the lights on. That's how it keeping the lights on. Now, I do agree with the other side of it, though. Like, though I agree and I disagree, because I think it's like kind of a shitty narrative. But like, you'll see the crusades against like, oh, they're making fighting games for casuals nowadays, bro. They're making them for casuals. I don't think that really exists. Am I crazy? Am I crazy in saying that? I feel like that doesn't exist. At least, definitely not nearly to the extent that people make it out to be. What game is made? What game is made for casuals, guys? What fighting game is made for casuals? Is it? You tell me, bro. There's a game. Brawlhalla. Okay, I'll give you Plat Fighters. I can give you Plat Fighters. I can concede that. I think Ultimate and Brawlhalla could fit that description, perhaps. But even they ended up with pretty fleshed out competitive scenes for sure. Right? But do you see what I mean? But it's easier to go that way than the other way. It's easier to be like, okay, we're a success at large. Now let's make it a success on the like core community end, than to say, okay, we're gonna make something that is a success at the core community level and then try to make it a huge commercial success. It's way easier to do it that way than to like do it the other way, right? We have evidence for that. But like made for casuals is like such a funny statement, because it's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Why don't people just say, I don't like this game? Why does it always have to be some narrative about how like they're pushing real fighting game players out of the genre? I don't have this is not what I grew up with. It's like, okay, bro, it's been 20 years, bro. I don't know what to tell you. There's no world where the game was going to play the same as it did 20 years ago. Bro, every single Street Fighter game is very, very different from the previous one. Every Tekken game is pretty different from the previous one. These games change over time. They always have. Guilty Gear, very different from how it used to be. And when Exert came out, they said the same shit about it. Like, oh, this is not real Guilty Gear, bro. I'm gonna stick to Plus R. The same shit that you hear about Strive in current day. It's like, same shit. Right? It's the cycle. It's the same thing. Every single gen ends up being the one that's not competitive, and it's made for casuals. It's made for scrubs, and it's easy, and it's like, okay, bro, like you just say you can't adapt. It's, just say that. And that's what I mean by like in current day, it makes it to me, there's no excuse because those games you can still play. You can still play those games. If you think Plus R is God's gifts to fighting games, why are you not on Plus R? Why? There's no excuse. There is none. Anyone have a good one? Because I don't. There's no reason not to. There's just like literally, bro. I saw fucking PlayStation All-Star Battle Royale just got rollback. Like, bro, are you fucking kidding me? Yes, bro. Like, there are games being played that have never been played before, bro. These are unprecedented times. These are unprecedented times. We have never seen some shit like this. I'm trying to see if I can find the post for y'all. I just saw it like yesterday. Whoops. Here it is. This game has rollback, bro. Like, and instead of going and playing those games and connecting with your community, right? And making something of your fucking pathetic life. That was mean. You decide to be miserable on Twitter instead. Why? Why? It's so much wasted energy, bro. Why? What are you doing? What are you doing, bro? I don't get it. I don't understand. Bro, they're talking, I think Bloody Roar just got rollback or some shit too. I was pissed off because there was something about Bloody Roar and there was like an AI poster or some shit. I'm like, bro, you did this cool thing and then you made a fucking AI poster to commemorate it. I'm like, bro, you motherfucker. You're a guy. I'm like, why, man? Why? What is it? It doesn't make sense, bro. People were playing Def Jam Fight for New York at tournaments. There was a tournament at CEO. Like, bro, you can really just play shit, bro. That's the thing. Like, I would never choose to just be miserable when I could just be out there playing the shit that I do like. But some of y'all are not even serious, bro. Some of y'all say things because it's the cool thing to say. And it's the trendy thing to say, not because you actually believe it. Because you can't convince me that like all the people that are out here on tirades about how fighting games are so easy as though compared to what they used to be actually played those games before, and they actually tried playing the current ones. On top of that, bro, y'all are not serious. Y'all are not serious, bro. You can't be serious. At the end of the day, right? You gotta, there's a trade-off. It's trade-off, right? You might sacrifice some convenience for sure. I know, like, everyone treats Discord Fighter like it is a fucking, you get labeled as a fucking plebeian if you play a Discord Fighter. But like, if that's what it takes to play the game that you like, that's a very small hurdle. A very small hurdle. Very, very small, right? If you want to compete in games and make millions of dollars, well, okay, your choices are going to be limited, but in the nicest way possible. A lot of y'all niggas talking about shit like this, y'all were not cut out for that in the first place. You can try to secure the bag all you want. Your ass is done in pools, bro. Like, you're not like that. You're not. There are very few people that are like that. It's just how it is. So, like, as long as you're not like that, then why not just enjoy the shit that you want to enjoy, bro? Like, why be miserable? Why be sad? For what? You love Uni too. You wish you could get good matches at 2:30 a.m. I can't help you there, bro. He's a guy. No, surely there's some degens awake playing Under Night at the witching hours, bro. Surely. Bro, the game has night in the title, bro. It'd be like that. But yeah. So, like, why? It's like, ask yourselves, like, how did we get here? How do we get to the point where, like, we have more choices than we ever have ever, and people are acting like they have none? That's some crazy shit. That's some crazy shit, bro. They're all from the E. Okay, that's funny. Yes. Under daylight. That's what's up. That's what's up. Do I have another one? I think I do have another one. Hold up. All right, what's next? Oh yeah. Holy shit, bro. Okay. This pissed me off, bro. And this is like a okay, bro. And now this person doesn't even have a following, right? So like I'm not even like, you know, it is what it is, right? Like sometimes like, especially when you observe discourse, you have to sift through like people's burners and like people that don't actually give a fuck, right? Okay, can we talk about this? Can we please go back to traditional 1v1 already? We have too many tags already. Bro, y'all cannot be serious, all right? I've seen this sentiment expressed very, very commonly as of late, especially with the news about 2XKO, right? There's a ton of people that are like, I don't know why they keep making tag fighters, bro. Like, there's too many tag fighters. It's like, bro, there are not that many. There are not that many tag fighters. 1v1 fighters still outnumber them severely. I don't know why people are acting like there's like an overrun. Like, yes, there were a few that came out recently, sure. But like, bro, there'll always be more 1v1 games. You're not starving for 1v1 games. Right now, if you're a player that doesn't play tag games, right? Let's say you fucking hate tag games. Right? They're not for you, right? If that is you, you still have so many games to play. What what are you waiting for? Like, what are you waiting for? Like, what niche, what subgenre is not being hit? If you're a 1v, if you only play non-tag games, what is it been covered, bro? What has not been covered? You have so many choices. Like, what do you want, bro? What are you looking for? And like that's even just us talking about like big games, bro. Like, if we bring indies into the market, like, come on, man. What what are you waiting for? It's like that fucking meme where it's like, who wants to talk about fighting games, and everyone has their hands up. Like, who wants to play fighting games? Everyone puts their hands down. It's like, what are you talking about? And then this dude is like, 1v1s are a better pick for a game. Besides Tokon, every other tag failed. How do I even engage with this, chat? How do I even engage with this, man? Bro, it's like, what are we talking about, bro? What, what are you talking about? I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, is he talking about fighting game community success, or is he talking about commercial success? Because I feel like he's wrong on both. Invincible sold very well. Invincible sold very well. Like, very well. They had like a million sales in like the first like month or two or some shit. That game sold very well. So like that, I mean, it can't be that, right? What? What net impact? Like maybe he's talking about just net impact. Even net impact got an Evo. This. All right, later, Hebar. What is our metric of success? What's a successful fighting game to you guys? If I use the phrase successful fighting game, what comes to mind? What comes to mind? What game pops into your head? Okay. Let me re-ask. Successful fighting game. You can't say Street Fighter Six. That's cheating. That's cheating. SF6 is obviously a success. Non Street Fighter. What's a success to you? I think no one could ever argue that Street Fighter Six is not a success, bro. Like, if they are, then again, they're not worth engaging with. This is just not even a question. Is a Mortal Kombat. See, that's interesting. So, which Mortal Kombat? You mean like MK1? So, like, I think Mortal Kombat is a great example of a game that is successful on one side, but not as on the other side. MK is a very successful franchise. Like, sales wise, nothing touches it. I think. I think they weren't touched until Street Fighter 6. Actually, I think before Street Fighter 6, they just, as far as fighting games go, it was always MK. It was always MK, and part of that is because like they were in early. MK like literally changed the way gaming works, the rating system, and stuff. Like MK has a spot in gaming history, not even just fighting game history, right? Is places in actual gaming history. And so like I feel like it always performs well on the sale end, but where it has issues is community longevity, right? And most of that is because of the turnaround, right? Because of the cycle that they found themselves on. Because like if I remember correctly, all NRS games were on like a 2-year cycle, where it was like they do an MK game and then they do Injustice, and then they do an MK game and then they do Injustice. And so I feel like it was very hard for them to like have like really long lasting like steadfast communities, because of like there's always like this new game pretty fast that people jump to, right? Whereas you look at other franchises, the time between games is much longer, right? There's much longer in between Tekken games, in between Street Fighter games, in between Guilty Gear games. And so people actually get to like the communities have a long time to be built before people are faced with the decision of, are you going to the new game, or are you sticking on this one, or this or that, right? And so I think that's like one of the challenges that MK faces. Maybe that won't be the case this time around, now that, because they have like the whole Warner Brothers thing. We don't even know what the fuck's gonna happen with MK games. So I don't know. It's a little awkward. DBFZ was a success. No, for sure, for sure. Grand Blue is a success too. All the games you guys are naming are successes in some way, for sure, for sure. Almost every game that you like, if someone talks about fighting games, like most of the things that you talk about are going to be are successes, right? Because like these are pretty big games in the grand scheme of things. If we go into like the indie market and stuff, obviously things aren't as large, but like there's like implied things. There's implied things on the infrastructure end that make it so like games can only be so unsuccessful in certain franchises, right? Like how realistically badly do you think a Tekken game can do? how realistic? Like, it's not their bad, and other bads are just two different bads, right? If you perform badly as an indie game, you might have like single digit people playing your game. Tekken on a bad day is still thousands of people, right? If we go smaller, where Lumina and Uni 2 successes, I think both of those are successful. Yeah. I think overwhelming majority of the games that you will talk about on the fighting game end were successes in one way or another. If they weren't a huge commercial success, they still managed to find communities, and they still had events, and they still do all of those things. And I think, like, for us, right? I'm selfish. I'm fucking selfish, bro. That's all I care about, right? Obviously, one makes it easier for the other, right? If you have big commercial success, then it's easier for you to do more updates and get more DLC and this and that. That's not lost on me. That's not lost on me. But you can always have a community success without commercial, right? It's not needed. It's nice, but it's not needed, right? Yeah, I see a lot of people talk about SLAF. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, Rising, I think Rising is like, well, I think Rising is mainstream in the context of fighting games. I don't think Rising is mainstream in like the general like consumer space, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? I think like if you're a fighting game player, if you're there's no way you haven't heard of fucking Grand Blue, bro. Like, it's like, we got people making a whole fucking narrative post about Invincible versus Grand Blue, bro. Like, you've heard of Grand Blue. Yeah, you have. It probably only like the greater gaming sphere, like you'll run into people that are like, what's that, right? But even then, Grand Blue has the benefit of being a gotcha game adaptation, so you have some of those people that are like, oh yeah, that's that gotcha thing. But yeah, it's definitely not like a Street Fighter. It's like it's certainly not like Street Fighter, but there's nothing like Street Fighter right now, bro. It's like it feels so disingenuous, right, to always compare to Street Fighter, because it's like, bro, Street Fighter 6 is like, there has never been anything like it. Yeah, I do mean that. Like, never. There's never been anything like it. Like, we're still trying to figure out what to do with ourselves on Street Fighter 6, because we've never had a game get this big. It was a guy. We've never had a game get this big like this. So even we're like trying to figure out what the fuck to do as we move forward, because there's some shit going on that's never been going on before, bro, ever. You see JP, you see tourneys popping all the time for which game? Which game? There's a lot. I mean, yeah, there's also like regional differences for sure. Some games are just bigger in certain places than others. Like, bro, yeah, you go to Japan, they're like, what the fuck is an MK? Mostly because I'm pretty sure you can't even like buy it over there. Like, is it? You're seeing a haze of Steam charts in your head, bro. Fuck Steam charts, bro. If I could nuke Steam charts, if I could make it so every fighting game player, if they went to Steam charts, they just were met with a big ass red screen that had a stop sign on it, I would. I would, bro. That shit is brain rot. It's banned in Japan. Well, I think I want to say it's banned in Japan. I could be incorrect, but it's restrict. Like, MK is not available everywhere because it's so violent, right? Like, we're like desensitized to it, but MK is extremely violent, bro. Like, yeah, that shit is. There are definitely, it's so violent that, like, yeah, it would be banned in some places. Yeah. Steam Charts is banned somewhere. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, I mean, I think three the your third type of success is still this. Like, I think three and two are the same. It's just a subdivision. But yeah, yeah, for sure. I think it's two major camps, and like the cool thing about the second camp, right? So the thing about the first camp, let's talk about the first camp. Like commercial success, right? There's a very limited window on a game becoming a commercial success, all things considered, right? That's why so much resource and marketing goes into the launch, because that's when you expect to have the most sales and get the most traction and this and that, right? And once you miss that, like if you have a bad launch, like I said, it's hard to recover for that reason, because people have already made, like, the first impression means a lot. So if people's first impression with your game is I can't play the game, they're just gonna fuck off and play something else, especially in current day where you have a lot of fighting games to choose from, right? The second type of success, though, like the cultural impact, like that could actually happen at any time, right? That's the cool part. Is like there you could not have that for a while, and then people recognize like, oh wait, this game's kind of sick, and it build traction over time, and then become that success. I think that's the cool part, or one of the cooler parts. It's like you could have a game have a resurgence after 5, 10, 15 years. And people will look at each other like, what the fuck happened? What's the what happened here? But it just be like that. Yeah, shareholders don't have the patience. They don't have patience for anything though. Shareholders very rarely even understand the product that they're putting out. Is That's why I'm not worried about that. That's why I'm so like I'm so I find myself like so anti-corporation. Like I'm just like I can't feel bad for you, bro. How am I gonna feel bad for you? Like, wow, you lost a few $1,000,000, bro. You think I give a fuck? You just that dev that lost their job, that lost their 80K, 90K salary, that hurts them way more than you losing a few
I
million.
love Paragon, but
I can tell you that.
Not Khalil though.
Hey, listen. No, I agree.
Y'all will be all right. And thank you for the 18 months, Shiki. I appreciate you, bro. It's when your game's not Street Fighter, Tekken, or Marvel, or Guilty Gear, then don't expect your game to take off. But that's not even true, though. That's not even true. There are other games that have commercial success, like Invincible, doing well on the sales end. DBFZ, huge, right? So it's not just them, but it's hard. I will say, like, it's harder. It's way harder to break through if you don't have like a big IP, for sure. Like the biggest games in fighting games are like very long-standing. Like these are the people that made the genre, right? Like, like that's one thing to really wrap your head around. Like when we're talking about like, if you're going band for band with other fighting games, right? Like the people that you're up against are people that literally created their own genre and created their own niche within the genre, right? And so like that's hard. That's hard. That's hard to break into. It's just difficult. These are the godfathers of fighting games that we're talking about. They'll always do okay. They'll always do well, right? Like MK and Street Fighter and Tekken, like they'll always do well. They'll always. They'll always do well to a certain extent, right? Obviously, even they can have failures. Like SF5 was not that big of a success for them at all, right? And that's what led to SF6 being as big as it is. But like they'll do all right. They'll do all right, and they'll always that guarantee. That something that a lot of people take for granted is the guarantee of there always being a next game, right? I cannot imagine a world where there's not a next Street Fighter, where there's not a next Tekken, where there's not a next Mortal Kombat. That's not a concept in my mind. Like that doesn't exist. There'll always be another one, right? There might be some variants or how long it takes in between installments, but I truly believe that there'll always be another one. Other series don't have that privilege. Not really. You're gonna be playing Rising until you die. There you go. Yeah, like Rising. Like, do you guys think there's gonna be another Grand Blue fighting game after Rising? I mean, I could see it, but I also could see a world where there's not. You know, like it's it's definitely not a guarantee. I can tell you that. Guilty Gear probably there'll probably be another Guilty Gear. There'll probably be another Guilty Gear. Well, how well Strive did, I'm sure there'll probably be another Guilty Gear. Is but their case is really interesting because like whatever the next Guilty Gear is, it's not gonna have the lightning in a bottle circumstances that Strive did, right? Unless they just happen to release their game in another pandemic that happened. I mean, I don't know, bro. With the way things are going in this country, the recalls and shit, like maybe I don't know. There might be another opportunity there, but they can't plan around that. Like, they got lucky and they capitalized, which that's what luck is all about, right? You gotta be ready to capitalize on the moment. But their next game, we can assume that will not be the case, right? And at that point, a lot of the things that made Strive such a success on release, right, will not be special to it anymore, right? Strive came out, Japanese made fighting game with rollback, netcode's good, right? Looks good, all that stuff. Next Guilty Gear game, like every game's is going to either already have it or will have it, right? So that makes you stand out less. So what do you do, right? What do you do to distance yourself from the crowd? Their lobbies are dog shit. Yeah, I don't know. I do not copy. Somehow Tokens are worse though. It's impressive. It's impressive how Token lobbies are worse than Strive. It's very impressive. I don't know. I don't know how they managed to do that. I was hoping it wouldn't be the case. Yeah, bro. Like, yeah, keep in mind, Strive didn't even have ranked until 5 years into the game, bro. Y'all were playing fucking Tower for 5 years. 5 fucking years y'all were playing on Tower. Like, come on, man. He's like, and so what are we doing? What's wrong with Token lobbies? So during Token tournaments, we have to have people leave the lobby entirely and rejoin, or else spectator will desync. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's worse than Strive because Strive, they have to go back to the lobby. They don't have to leave the lobby. At Token, they have to leave the lobby entirely and come back. It's like, bro, this game already takes long. Why do you make my tournaments take longer, bro? Why? Why can't we just let them hit rematch and move on? Grand Blue lobbies remind me of like BB tag lobbies. Funny enough, they just be doing freaky shit in there, bro. Can't you just learn one character and call it a day in Token? Yeah, you can do that. It's not going to be viable at the highest level, but yeah, I think that's part of the reason that like Token is such an accessible game because it is a team game, but like you have the choice to just play one character if you want to. You can play one character with assists, and some people do that. Even some of the better players are still doing that. Like Punk pretty much plays Spider-Man with assists, or at least he has up until this point. I don't know about nowadays, but he was at CEO. He was pretty much playing Spider-Man plus assists. He does what to you? Oh nah. You're here to watch that. Listen, bro. It'd be Tournaments are a different place, a different realm, bro. It's a different world. Mm, 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 mm. Ban that guy. That's crazy. That's and as always, we have those that are like they think they're so fucking bro. There's so many like pseudo like wannabe scholar, like wannabe intelligent people, bro. They're like, yeah, I thought this game was gonna save the FCC. It's like, what does it need saving from? What do we need saving from, chat? If anything, we need saving from Twitter. That's pretty much it. Does it? Other than that, what do you need saving from? Elon, sell you Twitter. Oh God, I don't even know. I don't even want to know what that would look like. That community book in Grand Blue Lobby ain't got nothing good to say in it. No, that's facts. That's facts. That's forbidden territory, bro. You don't go over there. But there's bro, fighting game community has this really annoying I'm gonna offend someone, bro. I'm gonna fucking offend someone. They have this really annoying subgenre of person that thinks that like being perpetually horny is a personality type that's pleasant to be around, bro. Like you guys are fucking annoying, bro. You're so fucking annoying. Like, bro, it is not fucking funny that you're playing in a fucking tournament and your fucking name is fucking Giovanna Footjob, bro. Like it's not funny, bro. Like fuck off. Like go somewhere. Like what's wrong with people, bro? Like I don't want to come off as like a prude, bro. Like hey, bro, you know, have at thee, have fun. Just don't like, bro. Does your name in game need to be that, bro? Does it? Does it? Does it really need to? Like, you just had to make your name that. Like, bro, you have the personality of a fucking wet paper towel, bro. Like, what are we talking about? Is you're gonna talk about the biggest question in fighting games? One is lobby. depends on depends on who you ask, bro. The yeah, bro. This shit is whack. It is forest. Of course it's forest. They just think they're fucking funny. Bro, the thing is, like, you fuckers, right? Very few of you are funny, all right? Like, by the numbers, by the percentages, right? Out of all of you watching right now, I don't know how many people are watching, but like maybe 5 of you are funny people. The rest of y'all are not funny, bro. Leave the comedy to the professionals. Y'all are not fucking funny, all right? Stop it. Get some help. Cut it out. When I pull up and I tell your parents that, yeah, your your daughter entered my tournament is I wanna fucking pie Zuri from Elfelt, and then they're gonna be like, huh? Excuse me? And they're gonna take away your shit, and then what? And some of y'all are underage doing that shit too, which is even weirder. Do not. He's like, the hell did you come back to? Listen, bro, people are fucking annoying, man. He's like, keep that shit in your fucking weird ass Discord servers, bro. There's a time and place. And believe me, you guys Discord, bro, fighting game Discord server, they get weird. They get weird. They get weird in a lot of ways. I'm just like, okay, this is, bro. I had to bro. I had to swear off of character discords during DBFZ, bro. You know why? It's because most of the tech development that I did during that game was for Android 21. Do you want to? What do you think the Android 21 character Discord was like? Take a shot in the dark. And niggas would ask me, they would come to my stream and like, yo, why don't you ever post in the 21 Discord? I'm like, bro, it's just porn, bro. It's just porn. There's nothing else. There's just nothing else, bro. I don't know what you want me to do here. Probably every fighting game has at least one character Discord that's like that too. Niggas are just detrimentally horny, bro. It'd be like that. They're so horny they can't see straight. Like, bro, go somewhere. I'm walk around with a spray bottle, bro. Like, fuck it. Shut up. The fuck up, man. Who is it for Grand Blue? Allegedly, it's Near, is what someone said earlier. I don't know how true that is. I don't go in character discords. So I'm gonna have to take your word for it because I'm not going in there. I'm not going in there. Hey, my hands are up. Like I said, I don't go in those. That's not my territory. That's not my jurisdiction. That's not. Hey, all I'm saying is that some of you fuckers also normalize the behavior too. In fairness, right? Because that motherfucker, what's their name? SK off or whatever, right? Fucking weirdo, right? But y'all laugh about that shit like it's cute. That shit is not cute. That shit is not cute. Respectfully, when they got banned along with Riazo, I was like, keep them banned. I'm just saying. I'm just, hey, my hands are up. My God. Along with Riazo. You don't remember when Riazo got banned? You don't remember? Bro, that was like a pivotal moment in Grand Blue community, bro. Yeah, it was at the same time. That was a funny ass sequence of events, bro. I can't lie though. Like that tournament that day was fucking hilarious. He made a side account. Y'all be keeping up with this person? Oh, okay. Wait, did they not get their account back in Grand Blue or something? I haven't kept up with the guest book meta. My bad. Listen, bro, I don't, again, like I'm not the type to yuck someone else's yum. If you're not hurting anyone, you're not on some very if you don't cross the moral line, right? Like do whatever the fuck you want. It's just like don't make it your whole personality to just like like porn addiction is a very real problem that I think people suffer from in this community, right? And like it's dangerous, man. Like it's like please pull yourself away. Like bro. Okay, respectfully. All right. I'm gonna tell you about some shit that I thought was weird, right? And this is in no way meant to disparage anyone, right? But I go into the fucking grind cord for the game, which again, the fucking grind cord, one day I'm gonna nuke this shit. And there's a whole ass fucking emote of a character just eating pussy, bro. And people were just using this shit in conversation. I'm like, bro, this is weird. This is fucking weird, bro. Right? Like, am I crazy? Like, it's like, that's like, I'm like, okay, that's just fucking weird, bro. Like, I don't know. It's just a bit much, you know? It's like, for what? What are you talking about? You've never seen that? It's called UL Byte. You're in that server. You should be able to see it. He said, let me check. Bro, what kind of self-report? what kind of shit? What kind Bruh. We might have to get rid of you, bro. Can a server be taken down for stuff if it's not an 18 plus one? I mean, like, I'm not saying like the server needs to be taken down. I just think that promoting that type of shit is weird. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I don't think you would ever actually get your shit taken down for that. Like, it's Discord, bro. You know how many Discords are? Ain't no way. I don't think there's any world where you actually get your shit taken down for that. You thinking Scorpion is weird in the early Mortal Kombat games? Wait, what are you talking about? Just, whoa, wait, what are you talking about? You saw a big emote of that posted. I mean, I'm not lying to you, guys. Like, what reason do I have to lie? Like, as we've seen with recent developments, this court is getting some people in trouble, man. Can I invite you to that Discord? Fuck no. The what? No. You'll need to be in there, bro. That stuff is cool. But what do we need saving from? Bro, even I feel like the grifters have been kind of quiet lately. Is that really what it is, bro? I mean, like, I don't even know if I can. I don't know if I can show. I like don't want to show it to you guys. There might be young people watching my stream. I definitely think that's what it is, bro. I mean, like, I don't know. It's questionable. It's questionable, bro. It's very, very questionable. That might be a self-report, bruh. Yes, I know it's in the name. Again, it's still very questionable, brother. Is a bro. You act like people don't make ambiguous shit like that for that purpose in the first place. They definitely do that. What are you talking about? This would not be the first time. You don't know what else she can be. I mean, you can, bro. All right, I gotta get rid of Tay Man, bro. I gotta get rid of him. I get. I gotta get rid of Tay Man, bro. You got to take a walk, man. You got to take a walk. You got to take a walk. 5 minutes. Take a walk. Take a walk, bro. Jesus Christ, man. It really be like that, bro. Listen, bro. I'm not even. That's where we're at. We'll wave that one off, Shaq. Go ahead. Bro, some people make these weird ass names like they're starchy G tags too. It's like, bro, I don't want to put. I'm like, okay, you're never getting on stream, you know? Like it's some of them I have to let rock. Like gay sex legend, like I can't not put him on stream. Unfortunately, right? I don't have a choice. I do, I do not have a choice. But with others, I do have a choice. I don't know. I don't know. Jodo is he like quits the game every 5 minutes. One set away from top ADC. I mean, they're very good at the game, so like I don't doubt it. I don't. I don't doubt it. They're very good. They have a very good layout. They were debating on changing their name at one point too, but I guess he decided against it. Can you imagine the walkout? That's what I'm saying, bro. It's like you get put into a weird spot. Cause then like so the unfortunate part, right, about being a production person is that like if you're like, okay, maybe I shouldn't put this on my broadcast, right? People will legit like make posts on Twitter like, yo, these people were cowards. They won't put this on shit. It's like I'm like, bro, I'm fucking YouTube's gonna fucking clap my video, bro. Like, send help, man. Oh. Okay, yeah, I had a question to ask you guys. Okay. This is from a YouTube comment this morning, right? So, um, for Avatar on Saturday, one of my commentators like they had their internet go out right before the event, and so I was like, I'll just commentate with G. It was me and Geek, right? And we were just kind of shooting the shit, really. Like we were like goofing off, doing whatever. And part of the reason is because like, bro, it's my stream, bro. Like I mean, I could do whatever the fuck I want, right? First of all, second, like, bro, there was some really funny shit. There was some really funny shit that happened during that event. But there was it's a YouTube commenter that was like, he's like, I think that the commentators should stay on topic because what if I went blind? I wouldn't be able to watch or understand what's going on. And I was like, this is kind of, I feel like this is a little unhinged. Like, why is that? Why is that what comes to mind for? It's kind of, I, is it valid though? Is it valid? Is it, is it valid though? I feel like some people get harangued for being on topic or off topic more than others. Like, bro, like, yeah, one of our greatest commentators, he's always saying random shit. He's a great commentator. Like, what are you talking about? What is he? But why? But why is he talking about going blind though? Like I was like concerned. I was like, bro, are you having eyesight problems? Because you have commented twice talking about going blind. There's a guy. I was like, what the fuck? What is happening? What? I don't know. I don't know what happened here. But it segues into a question. So like for you, you get to answer for your own preference, right? Do you prefer like strictly on topic commentary, or are you more of a color commentary type of person? Because like I know it's like pretty divided, but I wonder like in terms of like hardcore fighting game fans, like I wonder which one they care about more. I would assume color would be more popular just because like if you know what you're looking at, like you under well, I guess it depends on like what level of understanding we think the average fighting game viewer has about the game that they're watching. I guess that would probably make a pretty big difference. Because he gets called a winter soldier? What is that? What? If it's happening 70% of the time to mute. But why? Are you automatically disinterested in everything that's off topic? You're never interested in any off topic subject that is, like I feel like that's kind of interesting. You've never been interested in a conversation that commentators are having outside of the game? Is Don't deviate for more than 3 seconds. Okay. I mean, shit. Brother. That's pretty strict. That's, that's pretty strict. Okay, but what if it's not random though? Like, would someone talking about the IP of the game that is being played, is that considered random? High intensity moments. But like see this is odd though because like I think I think for me, like as I gain more understanding about whatever game it is that I'm watching, I like don't really need commentary that much. Like it's cool if it's there, but like I'm really just there for the game. Like I don't, like I'm good at tuning things out. Like I don't really mind if people are like talking over the game or not. The topic is too serious or deviating too often during a round. So you you need everything that is happening on the screen to be regurgitated to you is what you're saying. Like you want them to exactly tell you exactly what is happening on the screen. So you don't have eyes. Like I just want to I'll make sure we're on the same page. He's like you went blind. No, the commenter was right, bro. The commenter was right. You went blind. You became tough mid tournament, and you need. I'm just making sure we're on the same page here. If you don't know the commentators personally, you're usually more dialed into the gameplay. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, it's it's interesting because like the the adversity to like esports, right? Like there's plenty of people that are like, oh, I hate that fighting games are becoming esports and things are squeaky clean and this and that, right? And so like you would think that those people would be looking for color more than like play by play. Cause I guess play by play is considered squeaky clean and boring. I don't know. Yeah, but that's just comedic preference, right? Yeah. I mean, that's just comedy in general. Some things you just won't find funny. Some things you will find funny. Well, she can't look at the screen, so yeah, it'd be like that. That's interesting because I think if you don't like, I almost feel like there's a barrier of entry somewhat to commentary, like understanding commentary. Like if you have no idea what is happening at all, like I don't know how much commentary helps you, if that makes sense. Like if you just lack fundamental understanding of like the game that is being played, like I don't know if commentary really helps you that much because you just don't even understand like what a character's button is in the first place. Like you just don't. You just. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about that. For major events, it could be more structured and streamlined, but for smaller events, it could be loosey goosey. So do you hate Yipes commentary? I mean, Yipes is always Yipes. Like, yeah, like he definitely like will change it up given this situation, but he definitely is still him. Like he, yeah. No, for sure. I mean, like the good part is that like fighting games are not that hard to understand, at least at a very very basic level. Like it's just people hitting each other. So like some viewers can kind of reason it out for sure, but I feel like people's parents they would be like maybe some of the most common groups of people that really have no idea what's happening. Like they really don't know what's happening. The best commentators know when to switch from color to serious. But do you know when to switch from color to serious? That your ideology of the right time and the wrong time is going to be fundamentally different from other viewers, right? It's all preferential at the end of the day, I think. Your mom is infinitely supportive, but you can win Evo and she's still not watching video games. That's tough. That's tough, bro. My mom came to CEO, bro, and she she got to watch Sonic Fox versus Justin Wong, bro, on Marvel Tokon. What a world. Okay, how many times do you? Oh, okay. How many fighting games do you watch that you don't play? Chat. Would you say is it most? Would you say most fighting games you watch you don't play, or do you play most of the games that you watch? Okay. So for those of you who watch more games than you play, which should be everyone, by the way, if that's not you, you should you should change that. Um, you should change that. But but for those of you that that's the case for, what makes a game fun to watch and what makes it unfun to watch? What do you mean by watch? What else could I mean by watch? I don't know what else. I don't know what else. I don't know what else I could mean. You going out of your way to watch it or watch it because it's at a major? I mean, like both of them are you willingly watching? No. Does it matter? Is that a distinguishing you're making in your head? If so, why? And you're the only one that swingy matches. So you're there for the variance. Okay. Do you watch any games? Okay, okay. Do you watch any games that you think the gameplay is not good? Like you think the gameplay is bad, but you watch it anyway? Games don't have too much or clear. Yeah, I mean that's fair. Some games have a lot of things on the screen, so yeah, it can be rough. You only wander into variety at majors. That's so interesting. A lot of anime games you just really can't watch because of the visual noise. You think the gameplay is whack? You'd only watch it if anything else is on. But like, bro, you can always just turn it off though. Like if you're if you're willingly making the decision to watch, like that's funny. But like, if you think the gameplay is whack, then so me, right? If I explicitly thought this gameplay is bad, then it's hard for me to find value in watching it to some extent, right? But I don't feel that way about like very many games at all. Like not many. The only game you struggle to watch is Marvel 3 with too much going on. It's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff going on in Marvel 3. But I think that like that's not as strong of a drawback for most people, if that makes sense. Like I think the chaotic nature of games like Marvel 3 and like DBFZ was like this too. I think the chaotic nature of those games actually makes them more enticing as a spectator rather than less. Because it's especially like most pure casuals, they don't know what the fuck's going on. Even if you put Street Fighter in front of them, they don't know what the fuck is happening. They just see flashing lights, bro. Oh, that guy turned green. Is it? No, but CF, I think CF is like, I don't think CF would be towards the top. Like if you asked, like if you polled a bunch of casuals, right, and you asked them like what games are most fun to watch, I don't think CF would be towards the top. But uh I think like CF is a game that gets more fun to watch as you gain more understanding of fighting games, I think. VF is really boring to watch, but really fun to play. That's interesting. Yeah, I really wonder what the reception of VF will be when it comes out. That's why they're making these games for casuals and dumbing it down. I just listen, bro. Like I know I've had this whole soapbox against like the motion input like complainers, bro. But like it's so ridiculous to me because like, bro, you're complaining that like You don't feel good about yourself from doing a small little motion as opposed to not doing a motion. Like that's what you're mad about. It's just so funny to me. I can't take people like that seriously. I'm sorry. I just can't. I just can't, bro. I could never see that being a make or break for anyone that's like serious about fighting games, man. Like if you're playing a game, like some people were like, I'm gonna play Tokon because it has motion inputs, bro. You don't like the game, bro. Like you just don't like the game. Did we forget that we have to like the games that we're playing, or what? What's up? How is that the main determining factor that you land on? That's so crazy. You can have motion input to be a dog shit game, bro. I'll say it. I'll, I'll fucking say it, bro. I don't know why we're pretending like all motion input games are good. Like, it's like, VF, I think VF Crossroads will do pretty fine. I think it'll do fine. They definitely, I think they're doing things that are like intentionally trying to make it a bit more appealing on the spectator end. Like, I think the whole limb break thing is like probably pretty interesting to watch. Don't know how it'll be to play, but to watch should probably be pretty cool. Avatar, you can't even spectate properly, bro. I don't even want to talk about that game. It's, God damn it, bro. Pissing me off, man. It do be like there's a lot of self-reporting that goes on though. You know how it is. Oh hell no. The what now? That's crazy. Well, I think the games that perform the best on like spectating in right now are like I mean I think Tokon is gonna be really high. It just makes sense. Street Fighter will just be there. I think Tekken is like I think a lot of casuals even will say Tekken is really fun to watch. Invincible. Oh, okay. Omega Lol. It'd be like that. I mean, Invincible is so like viewership manifests in different ways. Like live viewership is different from like VOD viewership, right? Invincible does very well on YouTube because like that's the highest concentrations of casuals you'll ever find is on YouTube. So like you'll get good YouTube viewership. Twitch is tends to be a little bit more of a hardcore audience because you have to actively go to well the easiest barrier being like bro you have to know when these tournaments are and most casuals don't even know that, right? They just happen to stumble across something while it's on and they're like oh shit these like, oh shit I'll watch this. I was you know what I'm saying like so that's already like a big barrier. You think most non-majors are? You don't know when most non-majors are unless you're streaming them. Well, yeah, I mean that's not surprising. That's that's not surprising. I mean, my stream is supposed to be a gateway into becoming a knower. So like, yeah, it's. But some of y'all should definitely learn how to use Google and get an extension to turn off that AI overview shit. Because because I unfortunately cannot always be live. He's like, I did. I try. I fucking try. I can only be live for so long. It do be like that. Yeah, I guess. I guess at this point we only have like two. We only have like two big releases in 2027, right? It's just Melty and VF. There's so many games, bro. Oh my god, there's so many games. We have so many fighting games, bro. This shit is crazy, man. We might be running out of juice. I mean, we'll be good, bro. We're chilling. We're chilling, bro. We don't need the next installment of some of these games are gonna be on the fucking PlayStation 6, bro. Like, I'm not even trying to go there, bro. I've had enough of these fucking consoles, man. These consoles drive me crazy, man. You're juiced out? Damn. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like they're gonna do a KOF 16 eventually. He's while we got Loch Lomond on the aux right now. I mean, like this whole playlist has been classical and like choir stuff. He's like, I fucking love Loch Lomond, bro. He's like, that's really it. AI overview told you to stop playing fighting games. See, this is why you install the extension that takes it off your shit, bro. Yeah, I was actually in an acapella group. Yeah, we formed an acapella group for my a high school talent show, and then we stayed together afterwards and started doing concerts and shit. SNK got to hire artists and let them make pretty games. I SNK, bro. I mean, they're hey, bro. Like City of the Wolves or not, bro, they are putting like they're the amount of content in that game is fucking crazy, bro. They're doing a character a month. I think Duck King is this week. Like it's actually insane. There's gonna be so many characters in that game by the time it's over. I'm just like, Jesus, it doesn't end. No, Duck King actually does look really cool. He's very well animated. Yeah, he does look really cool. I'm like, they just doing shit over there. they're just doing shit. Every time I look over there, there's some new shit. Sorry, this dude is horrible at answering his DMs, bro. Pissing me off. KOF 11. I did not play KOF 11, bro. It's good. They have like like City of the Wolves is like a character from the movie, like the Fatal Fury movie or something. And shit, I'm like, bro, they're just doing shit, bro. They're actually just doing shit. I'm like, god damn. Speaking of which, when does this Street Fighter movie come out? Is it still a long way away? I actually don't know. Bro, I'll take my phone into the theater and stream it, and then risk getting clapped by copyright claims. Well, we got we got to have a night where we pile into a Discord and watch the Street Fighter movie, bro. Get some meta glasses. Weren't meta glasses like getting banned in some places? Because people were fucking around. You can't trust people, man. It's crazy. Fuck ass glasses, bruh. They're getting sued. That's what's up. I love to see big companies get sued, bro. Free pervert glasses if I get gigabit. There are only 3 unique sentences left in the human language. This is crazy. How I This is unprecedented, bro. I don't. What the fuck? that My ancestors never would have thought. Oh my god, bro. I I really makes you wonder. Really makes you wonder. How did we get here, chat? How did we get here? How did fighting games bring us to this place of all places, Lord? I hope they lose. I hope they lose millions of dollars, bro. Billions even. May or may not be able to be sabotaged by the wearer. Yeah, to make it so you can't tell. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, need a grand blue. What? Okay, I'm turning the stream off. Y'all are out of pocket. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. Don't be shitheads. Thanks for watching. We will be back tomorrow. Goodbye, friends. Later. These.
Coca-Cola, espuma.